Don't look under the internet.
Ciao.
You don't do that.
You want to go spooking?
You guys want to go spooking? You want to go scaling?
You want to go steeping?
I need to steep.
You do need to steep. Steep
Like,
harder, my
that
son.
is steeped fully at this point. There's
Un-
no,
so-
no
I know
more
it has been soaking for like an hour already.
Unsteep it slightly.
Just suck the mint out.
Put the tea bags in your mouth.
Is that a sex thing? Sucking the mint out?
Yeah, sucking the mint out.
Oh, it's all the rage, man.
What if you could, like, suck, like, if you had, like, Pepsi, and you could, like, suck the syrup out of it and just have water
and
left?
without the water?
Yeah.
Like
When I
suck
asked you
individual molecules?
When I
Yeah.
asked you for a Pepsi the other day without the black stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, just foam. Oops, all foam.
All foam.
Welcome to Don't Look
Yes.
Under the Internet.
Welcome back, everybody.
Internet horror comedy podcast. Where
Oh
Nailed
my
it.
fucking god!
Where-
Applause.
I don't have the button ready. I don't have the button
Get
ready.
it ready.
No! You know, applause backed by a sad trombone is really the best thing I could have hoped for.
It worked for sure.
It did. Yeah, this is Don't Look Under the Internet. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. That's Jason.
Hello.
That's Doug.
I am Doug.
And I'm Gwen Stefani.
Oh,
Here to
God.
rock
Sten
your body.
Gufani. Got it.
Here to rock your body.
Tanning Chatham.
I'm Tanning Chatham.
Tanning Chatham.
Moot is not. He's here, but not. You can't see
He's
or
right.
hear
He's
him.
right there.
Yeah, he's right here. You can't see or hear him, but if you focus real hard,
You can feel him.
you could feel him.
we don't have access to his terrible childhood photos, or we would have one sitting.
Put the skeleton.
Oh,
at the table.
shit.
Oh, I fucked it up. Yeah, no, Moot's just kind of listening on this one because this is part 2 of ECKVAnet, and he's like, you know what? I just wanna be here. And
I
I'm
told
okay
Mike
with
that separately, and
He did. He
very, very serenely,
He took
and
the-
just
he took the time away from just sending me his nudes to be like, but for real, listen,
he
like,
included text this
yeah.
time.
Tasteful meme nudes.
Yeah, it was
It was
very
just an
nice.
album of 12 throbbing penises.
No,
but-
it was, but he he involved other things too.
So it
which was
wasn't
nice.
It wasn't just that.
No, it was a lot more.
Oh,
It was
how
also
nice
his
of him.
6 vaginas.
What is Moot? What is he?
I'll tell you
He's
what
many
he
things.
isn't. Diluti. Housekeeping.
clap, head.
So
That wasn't right.
we have one new patron that I want to shout out. And his name is Rianu Keeves. Hello, Rianu. How is time away from being Wanjik? Jik sounds like a slur. I don't know if I want to use
That whole sentence
that.
sounded like a slur.
I
if I'm being
don't know
honest.
if I want to do that again.
I don't think you should. It really does sound like a slur.
What's-
Maybe just move
what's-
forward.
What's Neo's real name? I know it's Mr. Anderson. What's his the first name in the
Thomas
Matrix?
Anderson.
So, Honest Tanderson. That's
Honest-
a better one. Honest Tanderson.
Honest Anderson.
Rianu Keys, thank you very much.
Wait, is he Bill or Ted?
You're a wonderful person.
He's Till. Or bed. Who knows?
You're a wonderful person, and thank you so much. If anybody else out there wants to be a patron, you can go to patreon.com/deludipod, and you can find that at patreon.com, or you can go to deludipod.com or deludy.com and find a link there.
Why do you close your eyes when you say that?
Because it makes me feel like I'm elegant.
He has it
Pretty smart.
tattooed on the inside of his eyelids.
So
I
he's
can
like-
read a script. Got it. Damn, that's genius.
I'm smart sometimes. It's 40-60. 40-60. Much like
Ghosts.
ghosts in my home. I'm like 40% positive this place is haunted.
Is 60% haunted.
No, 40% positive and 60% haunted.
Because that fucking makes sense.
Well, yeah, it's like the 8% of 10 is 10% of 8 or whatever. The fuck.
The reverse
percentage.
inverse percentages
Yeah,
or whatever the
it
fuck.
works out all the same.
Yeah.
This is part 2 of ECKVAnet, everybody.
Yes! If you're here and you have not listened to part 1,
Yes.
please go back and listen. You can stay here. You can hang out. You won't know what the fuck is going on at all.
No, you will not.
So.
Yeah, we're pretty much, we went over the YouTube videos in our first one with a little bit of I would say a little bit of like background.
Just a
but
bit.
now we're going to go into a little bit more in depth of how people got that information.
Just enough context to
Just into the weeds.
yeah.
And then we're going to wrap this whole thing up with a nice boo.
Into the thick of it.
Into the thick of it.
The thickums.
Into the thick of it.
Thickums.
So where do we want to start off with this, boys?
I think we're done here.
I think we just, that was the
Goodbye,
whole
everybody.
thing.
Thanks for coming out. If you don't understand, I don't care.
No, so actually we are going to begin before the beginning. If that makes sense.
The dawn of man.
The dawn of
With the
ECKVA.
monkeys
ECKVA.
hitting the monolith with the sticks and everything. And they're just like, ooh.
And then they pick up a bone and are like,
Well, yeah,
Whoa!
and they
and
fling
then it turns
through.
into a spaceship.
Yeah, are we talking about the same movie?
2001?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never seen it, so go ahead.
Oh,
I just know the scene with the monkeys hitting the monolith with sticks and
yeah,
they're
that's
just
the
like,
end of that
bunga
very
bunga
beginning.
all around it.
Me oog. Me
That's,
smash.
that's the beginning of how primates use tools.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
before you do that, actually, before we get into ECKVA, let's do this. I haven't done this in a while.
It has been a minute.
What are you drinking? What are you thinking? There's a bottle here and it's empty. Yeah.
Well, I am drinking some Evan Williams 1783, chased by some Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
I have some nice mint tea in front of me. I might have a little sippy of the whiskey with you, just
A little
so
sippy.
you're not alone.
I got
That's fine.
water.
I
I got water.
got pink water.
Pink water.
Pink water.
I've had a day today, so I could use some
There you
brown
go.
water to help pick me up.
Here you go.
I can help you with that.
I stuck my fingers
Here,
in a lot
let
of
me see
penises
the- let me
today.
see the
So,
bottle.
oh yeah.
I'm just
Here you
gonna. I'll take a small swig out with you
Okay, well,
as a cheers to everybody because I haven't done one in like
2-3 weeks or something. Yeah.
So, when you hear the clink, everyone drink. Wait. Fuzzy duck, ducky fuzz. Does he fuck? He does. There it is.
Come on her.
Come on, her.
And happy holidays. I don't know what our denomination is, but yeah.
Happy Chris McQuana Hanzik, something like that.
All 9 taste buds. You're vanilla.
Roll it around.
Roll it around.
All fucking 9 taste buds.
Yeah, now that we've covered our taste buds with brown water,
Let's use
Brown
all
water.
one combined brain cell.
let's
All one combined brain cell to
Yes.
bring you
ECKVAnet.
the reason we talked to you for an hour and a half last week, which I'm not sure you're going to find here, but we're going to attempt. So,
Did you hear that noise?
Oh, was it a fart? Was it a big fat fart?
is it a dookie? No, so if you guys remember from part 1 of this, we kind of we basically dove right into the videos. We gave a small, very brief setup for the entire ARG. We told you guys that this was basically a reboot of Clear Lakes 44, which is a sequel to Marble Hornets. We basically told you everything that you needed to get the main points of the story so far.
Also, Clearview, or Clear Lakes is still canon.
Yeah, Clearview is
Still canon.
yeah,
According
God,
to
they're the same
according to
fucking shit.
Troy, was it Wagner?
Troy Wagner, yeah,
He
the
said
creator.
He said still canon.
Yeah, it's still canon. This
Still
is
canon.
so. This is like it's a reboot / continuation of Clear Lakes 44. Yeah, we basically ran through the videos. We showed you guys what the whole what everyone was freaking out about, why they enjoyed this so much, and that was the very cryptic and weird videos that we went through. But
Weird.
today, now that we've set all that up for you, we are going to do our deep dive and basically our venture into the more ARG elements. We're going to go over the story, and we are going to set you up very nicely for season 2, which is currently happening now. So after you guys listen to this, if you guys want to trot on over to the ECKVAnet website or the ECKVAnet Reddit or any of the resources you have at your fingertips, please do. If you're interested, it's something that's going on now.
Yeah, if you recall from the last episode, I touched on the beginnings of season 2 with Laos.
Yes. Yep. TV Spot C and Laos and then ECKVA 19 are all part of season 2. So check it out. Go follow along. Try to help them out. They could use it. But that's not what we're here to do today. Today, we are here to tell you how this got started, what the meaning of most of these videos are, and the overview of the plot so far. So we're going to go ahead and start this off with a little bit of setup. Now, this begins on September 21st, 2016, and literally all that happened was the Marble Hornets Twitter account, it tweets, "I see with new eyes," which is very strange considering Marble Hornets has been done for quite some fucking time at this point.
Oh, at this point.
It's ongoing, but like they
put a hiatus out.
Right, and this is also outside the norm for them. Like this is not something you would normally see. 3 days later, on September 24th, all players in the Clear Lakes 44 ARG receive an email from D. Scott, or Danielle Scott, who is formerly the president at Clear Lakes Communications. And this is what it says. "Sensitive information removed. Archived item below this line. Clear Lakes to cease operations after buyout. Draft. Clear Lakes Communication President Danielle Scott held a conference call today with all current station employees, informing them that April will be the final month the company will be in operation." She continues to say that, so after she says that April will be the final month the company will be in operation, basically she says that CLC is going to be completely independent and it will be bought out by longtime rival. Plus, let's just cut to the fucking chase. These symbols and numbers and percentage signs, they all translate to ECKVA. ECKVA. So if you take the first 5 plus signs and take the number 5 and turn that into a letter, the 5th letter in the alphabet is E. And then 3 slashes, 3 to C, and then K, 11, V, and then the percent sign equaling the A. There's been no word yet on if the company will be rebranded or absorbed completely. Speculations of a buyout have been circulating since last year, amid CLC's ongoing financial issues and struggles to maintain decent ratings for its small number of stations. Scott was hired in August of last year to help breathe new life into the station, but according to the insiders, the rising costs of developing and acquiring new programming far exceeded the company's modest fundraising. She was frankly asked to do the impossible, says longtime sponsor Blank. "I think the writing was already on the wall, but Danielle still wanted to try. She's always been very determined. All affiliate stations, of which there are 9, will be going off the air at the end of April as well. So far, all attempts to reach out for a comment from the individual stations or CLC itself have remained unanswered."
Oh, man.
Yep.
I really wanted an answer. Who's Blank?
Well, we don't know. It's 5 characters long.
It's ECKVA.
Or Alice.
Don't do this to me. From the chains? Or in the chains?
Yeah, the chained Alice. And so this was an email sent out to all of the previous Clear Lakes 44 ARG participants. Along with this message, we get a file, and it's a picture of a blue background with a new logo that just says ECKVA. ECKVA.
Hard.
ECKVA. ECKVA. It's all made out of like different type fonts, and it just shows up, it glitches out a bit, and so again, you guys have heard us talk about this before. So if you take the number of white squares that make up the title logo and divide them by the number of black larger spaces, we get a string of numbers. How did they figure this out, you say? Well, you, again, had to be part of Clear Lakes 44 to know that this might be a solution to this problem. So if you do this, you get the numbers 10, 4, 8, 4, 4, and 12.
Sure, they don't mean anything.
I'm sure. Another a little tidbit is this email.
You have Tid's Bits?
I have Tid's Bits and Tim's Bits and all of the bits. No, so this email, it could also be linked to to broadcast 13 from Clear Lakes 44, where a woman is hired by a radio station. It drops a small mention to that.
Who?
And so people started responding. And user ClayKid31 emailed D. Scott separately and asked if she could see with new eyes. And D. Scott responded, every day. Marble Hornets then rebrands itself to the +++++, the ECKVA transcription,
You think
weird
they sold
symbols.
shirts and merch that just say like ++++?
I hope so.
/
I would fucking buy one at this point. So they rebrand to that, and then they tweet, will you go as far as I have? Discovery of ECKVAnet happens right around this point in time, after the cipher from the symbols as well as the emails. And at this point in time, it simply says, domain seized, archive offline. One user compares the source code to that of marblehornets.com, and they discover that the source code from marblehornets.com and ECKVAnet are almost fucking identical, which is very strange. That's not something that happens just out of like coincidence, like at all.
Burger King and McDonald's can't share a burger?
No.
Oh.
It's against the law.
Not even the McWhopper?
The Geneva Convention basically says you can't do that.
Out for you. Specifically name drops McDonald's and Burger King.
Do you not read that every day when you wake up?
I used to, but I guess I haven't brushed up on it recently.
What happened, man? Come on. You used to be cool.
Go home.
So yeah, after they discover ECKVA.net, another user sorry, I just fucking said that. A bunch of users actually email D. Scott back, and they ask about the nature of ECKVA, and they simply get the reply, out there. All one word. On October 1st, users who submitted help tickets, which is something you could do on the ECKVA.net website, they received the following reply. Thank you. Your request has been received. Your ticket number is 531-122-142. Additional notes. You do not want to do this. And again, I know we went over a bunch of this last time.
This is a big TLDR from the beginning of the episode.
Yep. If you translate those numbers, you get ECKVADB. After this, the Marble Hornets Twitter tweets, I believe none. All curious will regret. And then on October 3rd, D. Scott sends this email to all registered users. Thank you for contacting database services. We require additional information to properly process your request.
And I require additional pylons, Jason.
I always do. Everybody needs to be constructing additional pylons at all times.
500
all of them.
Actions.
Need more peen.
Per minute.
More peen. So after this message, we see a bunch of dots. Then we see, tell me what makes you scared. Now, you could respond to this. And if you responded with like a joke comment or something like that, or something funny, you'd get the reply, basically denied.
Ass.
Yeah, basically go fuck yourself. But if D. Scott believed you, then you received a request accepted message. Wasn't that great? On October 5th, ECKVAnet is set to go online, and the landing page now displays a list of fears sent to D. Scott. Asking how much more D. Scott knows, we get just the message much more, all one word again. So that's something you're going to notice. D. Scott tends to talk and like just cram the words together. So pay attention to that. And her advice is to stay inside, all one word, and watch TV, all one word. Eventually, users would also get an email saying that their support ticket is now closed. Thank you for using the ECKVA network database to support service. Attached to this email is your support ticket history and ticket number, should you need to reopen the ticket at a later date. This message basically included one of like 4 images that D. Scott would send. There was a poem, there was a face, and there was another one that just said Alice. and there was a road by a parking garage. The poem read, "The home is silent. The home is almost silent. In the bed you toss and turn. Outside are quiet footsteps as the house begins to burn."
The H is silent in home.
It is.
The ohm.
So if you were a part of, I know we went over this last time, but I'm going to say it again. If you were a part of the Clear Lakes 44 ARG, you will remember that a cipher was used where you basically counted syllables per line in poems, and that gave you a number, and that number was the access code or the key or whatever the hell.
Is that haiku?
It is not. It is not. The only reason I know that is because I know the number of syllables due to this puzzle. This basically gave you 7777, and that was a separate web page on this, like on ECKVAnet. Also, if you decode the title of the image files that were sent to each individual person, that reveals the letters ALIS or Alice, which has something to do with, as we mentioned last time,
Alice Pastries.
That's Alice Pastry, or which is a spin-off of Alice's Bakery. If you there's so much setup here, and I know we've gone over a bunch of this. The main thing here is to remember that the website was your best friend for a bit and also your worst enemy. And then it turned into your permanent best friend because that's where it archives every piece of data that you will ever need to know or find on ECKVAnet.
It could be your angle or your demon.
It could be your angle or your demon.
Or your daemon.
Angle or daemon. But yeah, there's the ARG portion to just get into this fucking experience was convoluted as shit. But that makes sense considering where it came from Marble Hornets, right?
Yeah. The guy knew what he was doing.
He did. And honestly, like I enjoyed, from what I saw of Clear Lakes 44, I enjoyed it, but I also understand how non-sustainable that was. So I'm glad they rebranded and restarted doing something like this. But I fucking digress. So after they found these, that if you go to ECKVA.net/? and there's just a whole bunch of different like back end pages. This is where the Marble Hornets Twitter starts dropping some severe hints about what's happening. So the Twitter says, "Almost time to listen closely. Important work." So clearly something's about to start happening. The language in the tweets, it all but confirms that whoever is running the Twitter is also sending the emails from the D. Scott account, because the language is the fucking same. So please keep that in mind. That's very, very, very important. And if you skim over it like I did last time, you will be very sorry. But it ties together something massive for you. So after this, the 777 page is updated to this: spiders and numbers and cancer and disappointment and hurt and heights and happiness and you and unknown and unacceptable and water and you and color and cancer and good and drowning and static and good and unacceptable and you and arc and happiness.
And you and me and all of the people.
Yes. So most of you might look at this little string of just this giant run-on fucking list and say, yeah, this is just crazy. What that is. So some users actually corresponded this whole thing to a cipher, and they basically took each word arranged by like importance based on capitalization versus lowercase. So you convert these words to a number, and then you convert these numbers to a letter using the A1Z26
This
or
is the
alphanumeric.
shit I hate.
Oh, I know you hate
Oh, if
this.
you take this and
Oh,
shove
I
it
know
into
you do.
wingdings and shove wingdings into fucking the broccoli
Straight up your
cipher.
pee hole.
Yeah, you use the broccoli cipher, and then that's how you find out that that's
cheddar.
It's cheddar. And then you put cheddar into the website, and you get Mickey Mouse with his dick out.
Was it worth it?
Let me work it.
Yeah. So the code breakers went to fucking work, and they figured out that the first two letters are a capital U and a capital C. Now, you are very familiar with ARGs,
ECKVA.
especially ECKVA. If you're very familiar with ARGs and how they work, you will start to recognize certain patterns when it comes to certain things. One of those things are YouTube URLs. Every single listed URL begins, it's youtube.com/U, insert string of numbers and letters. So people saw this and go, oh, it's a fucking YouTube URL. So
I didn't know that.
they continued the cipher, and they basically plugged that in, and that is how we got to the ECKVAnet YouTube page.
All right, so you can find us at Patreon at patreon.com/DilutiPod. Don't look under the internet.
But as we said last time, this is where everything starts to go like full fucking force. That's the setup for this whole thing. If you guys go back and listen to the rest of part 1 of this, you'll understand where it goes from here. But I'm going to cut it right here because we don't even know anything else about this.
No, I think you're missing a bullet point.
Am I?
I think
Am
so.
I missing a bullet point? Am I missing a bullet point?
You're
Doug?
missing a huge part of.
There's a very integral part.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I didn't see this. I forgot I wrote this down. Fade in. Interior. For the final time, the largest, fattest, stinkiest shit flies out of the screen, making its last known appearance in all of the series.
Pertinent information.
And then we go directly into the YouTube.
So yeah, this is
I gotta make my own Google Docs account.
Well, you wrote it. I don't know what to tell you. That's
I know,
under your
I
outline.
don't trust myself.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Maybe you shouldn't drink and do outlines anymore.
You know, that's fair.
Keep your fetish out of our podcast, Jason.
so
Fat stinky shits.
yeah, it's a top character in this whole arc.
3D like flying towards the screen / my face.
I'm imagining like very like
Put on your glasses
PowerPoint.
now.
It's just very PowerPoint where it's like a 2D just like turd like rotating across the screen.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah, now that we have all of that set up, every single bit of prior to YouTube-ness is, that wasn't a word, but you get where I'm going with that.
Still made sense though.
We finally get a tweet from the Marble Hornets Twitter that correlates to ECKVA1. And it says, out there listening, along with the first video. So this is the first time they drop a video, and this is where in our first episode we would start talking about what's going on in the video, right?
Yep.
So pretty much from here on forward, I'll explain which video we're at and the in-betweens and like who's like, what tweets are coming out and what happened along with the website if something did happen. So like I said, they dropped the first video and they also tweet out, spin it around, click, 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 lucky. I can only assume
that's Russian roulette.
Yep. I can only assume that they're alluding to Russian roulette and that someone escaped death.
Yeah.
So during this time, the 777 page updates on the website reading this. Clear Lakes Communication involved in lawsuit. Clear Lakes Communication and its final month of operations have been named in a lawsuit alleging a hostile work environment and unlawful business practice. Fred Mendez, representing ex-CLC employee Jeremy Whalen, said, "My client has made it known that Clear Lakes Communications knowingly allowed its affiliate station, Clear Lakes 44, to engage in unlawful behavior against its employees. I cannot go into further details at this time, but we believe we have a very strong case. At press time, no court date has been set." So yeah, this is the first that we see that the Marble Hornets Twitter is actually following one single person. Mm-hmm. And they go by the handle of our protagonist, S. Hawkins. I'm going to refer to them as Hawkins moving forward because Shawkins drove me insane last time.
It really did.
But yeah, so these are the tweets and things that happened between them dropping the first episode and the second. So now that they've dropped the second video, if you remember in the second video, they actually drop a link to their careers page.
Yeah.
If you visit the careers page, it takes you to a picture of an application that you can basically fill out and email to them. And at the same time, a database link is discovered on the site 95727, and that a password change had been requested. So we finally get some tweets from this Hawkins person. And it says, the first one says, I never saw that employment ad. It looked very old. And then they tweet out, a lot of people are mentioning me. I probably don't know much more than they do. They tweet again, a lot of people are asking me this, but the only reason, or the only relation I have to ECKVA Networks is that I had a job interview with them several years ago. I was applying for a lot of jobs back then, so I don't remember anything specific about my application. I wish I did. They tweet again saying, I've tried everything I can think of to gain access to DB452. And then they tweet out another time, I haven't submitted an application from the careers page. Seems bad to give, strangers that information. Then they tweet again saying, come to think of it, my information was probably stored in a file somewhere before ECKVA shut down. It's possibly still out there somewhere. This is a great point to just comment that we now know ECKVA has been shut down. So if you were following the Twitter and watching the videos as they came out, you would have had that bit of information while watching the video.
Mm-hmm.
The next tweet is, got something weird in the mail today. No return address. 580412 is stamped on the back. This has the ECKVA logo with binary in the letters. And then they say they probably have my address on file at some point, but they're not around anymore as far as I know. Tried to make something of the binary, but couldn't. Maybe there's something else there. This is when we get people deciphering the lined code in the binary
logo.
Mm-hmm.
Those, if I remember correctly as well, ECKVA did some like real life guerrilla marketing, I believe, where they went to like Gen Cons and things with these business cards and just like handed them out to random strangers.
That's such a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good idea.
Right? That's why I'd be slapping our stickers on bird scooters.
Cross promotion.
We promote them, they promote us.
Just like we promote our good friends at Ghoulish Mortals over in St. Charles. You can buy so many cool, creepy things from them. It's insane. So if
just a
you're
heads up, not a sponsor.
not a sponsor. We just love them a lot.
We just fucking love them.
Yeah.
So
it's fantastic.
If you're in the St. Charles, Illinois area, go to Ghoulish Mortals, mention that Diluti sent you. You'll make them smile.
And they won't give you any discount.
But then you'll also up our chances of having a permanent location to do live recordings.
Don't tell them that. It was a surprise.
I'm just trying to get ahead of it.
Get us out there,
Well, if Ghoulish Mortals hears this, they now have to do that.
The
legally binding words.
A verbal contract is legal in the state of Illinois. I will have you know, Ghoulish Mortals.
I said it with confidence, so it's true.
That's what it's all about. Yeah. All right, where were we? So, they tweet out, tried to make something of the binary, but couldn't. I got the card after I and some others discovered the DB95727 link, so I'm assuming there's more to this. And then a big wet turd.
So, wait, did you sabotage yourself there?
No.
Oh, okay.
I wonder who did that.
Yeah, you don't have notes on this one, so. All right, so the card ends up leading to a username and password where an image is discovered on the page, referencing the children's show that is scheduled to be released. So it's actually a precursor to the Alice Pastry show that we're going to end up seeing in a little bit, or that you already saw technically, but yeah.
I am so
that
sorry.
Noise.
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
He's just fiddle fucking with his tea lid. Which is
your
a
mom.
sentence.
Burn your mouth some more.
I never thought that was a sentence that I was going to say,
Fiddling my
but
tea lid.
fiddle fucking a tea lid.
So after we get the tweet, or well, not the tweet, but after we get the card deciphered and it references the Alice Pastry, it doesn't actually say Alice Pastry on it. It just says the unreleased children's show. But Hawkins replies to a user who figured it out, saying that he felt like he was going insane from that card. Then D. Scott sends users a thank you for the application to anyone that's kind of sort of still playing the game at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone's getting denied except for one person. That would be Hawkins, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But before that happens, they tweet out, things have been quiet lately. I'm trying to figure out what the behind the schedule children's show is. No new email from D. Scott either. So everyone's getting emails except for Hawkins at this point. And then the Marble Hornets Twitter tweets Hawkins directly saying, see what's important, do what's important. We have what you're looking for. And then Hawkins replies to a tweet asking about Alice, and he says he doesn't know anyone by that name. And then the same person that has been calling my work phone and hanging up for the past several days, this hasn't really happened to me in the past. It might be a completely unrelated thing, but I wanted to just make a note of it here. So as these players are now getting denied for their applications, Hawkins gets an email saying they have been accepted to the position. And they tweet out, I already have a job and I didn't submit an application. So
That they're aware of.
right,
That they remember.
that they were something.
Way to hop on the bandwagon.
I tried. So there's so much here. I'm like trying to like make sure
Dude,
I remember everything, you know? So
We're just going to assume that your brain is nowhere near Mike or I.
No,
You're just fully invested in your very, very, very hardcore notes that you've taken.
as I do.
As you do.
So all of those tweets and all of those things that just happened were after the episode 2 release. Now we have ECKVA 3, where all we get is Hawkins tweet out something very upsetting. That's all they say. And then someone's like, yo, are you good? And they're just like, no.
No.
Which brings us to the ECKVA 4 tweets, I should say. We actually don't get anything here. But this is a great spot in the story because it's starting to make us realize that Hawkins is the one putting the notes into the videos that we now know are being uploaded via him.
We basically
Or her.
confirm that like Hawkins is documenting everything that's happening on a YouTube channel.
Yep. So that's literally all we get for pretty much ECKVA 4 as far as tweets go. And then once ECKVA 5 drops, Hawkins tweets, working all weekend, going to the house as soon as I can. Planning on going to the house tomorrow. This is a month, like that next tweet is a month or so after they tweeted that first one out. And then they tweet again, every time I come here, something new is broken. And they uploaded like a picture of a broken window on the home.
Okay.
And they said, I finished checking and everything seems to be as I left it. Getting some videos on my phone in case anything else goes unexpected. And that's all we get until ECKVA 6 drops. So this
Wowie.
should have saw that coming. I really should have saw that coming. So that leads us into the ECKVA 6 upload, where someone tweets at Hawkins saying, it looks like something tampered with those wires. So if you remember from the last video, they were like screwing back in a wiring like a outlet.
The where you found the letter as well.
That was several videos later, but
Yeah. So someone tweets Hawkins saying, it looks like someone tampered with those wires. No way that screw could come just undone on its own. And they tweet back, that's been in the back of my head for a while. And then that leads us into an ECKVA 7 upload. Now, I should say this just to get it out of the way, but these uploads and these tweets, sometimes they're months and months apart. The way I'm reading it, it makes it seem like they're like bam, 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 but it's really not that way. It's much more spaced out.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with the conversation when it goes over the span of years.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. But like I said, that leads us to ECKVA 7. Hawkins tweets that I've been getting a phone call at work from an unknown number since last week, always at 4:52 p.m. right before I leave. Unsure if it's the same number calling from before. It only says unknown number. They tweet again saying, never heard anything on the other end when I answer it, but it never disconnects. I kept listening for over 5 minutes once before hanging up. Someone tweets Hawkins asking if they tried to talk to it, and then they tweeted back, I tried talking to it, but no response. And that's pretty much where it ends for the 7th upload.
Okay, well, there's a few more in the next few videos. And honestly, like, so the Twitter, it contains some good information, but in the next few videos, it's a whole lot of exposition is what it is. So ECKVA 8. So this video was uploaded May 7th in 2017, and same day, we basically get a bunch of people it gets uploaded to YouTube, and then it also gets posted to Twitter saying like, look, here's this. And you can also find all of these on the website, just obviously not the Twitter replies. So Hawkins posts to Twitter ECKVAnet, and we get a slew of comments. Most of them are just people asking more questions about, what's going on here. We get someone asking the word visitor, or not even asking, just saying, the word visitor shows up for one frame at 1 minute and 1 second. I think someone knows you're going back. Please be careful. We get another reply saying, slowed it down frame by frame. The message, come back, you had visitor, comes up throughout the video, which... And there's a few more like replies from Hawkins to other people. Somebody's mentioned, so it's an obvious correlation between 452 and those phone calls you've been getting, but does the weather point to a specific day? And all we get as a response from Hawkins was, it rained yesterday and Friday.
Neat.
So like, they're
I just think
answering the
they're
question, but they're not answering the question,
Which
which is very strange.
I also
Spooky.
is more than likely a reference to in later videos when
Yes.
it shows the time and the weather.
And the weather. Yep, exactly. So pay attention. I have a feeling that in season 2, the conglomeration of time and weather throughout will be more important. There are several things that are important. There's several things that are important as you're looking through when the time and weather is shown. You're constantly going to see times such as 452 or 1154. One of the two things, and mainly that's just so 452 is going to be a huge, like, that's a huge number in this. That's always going to reference different things. And if you see 1154, that's just 452 backwards, as long as you count the 2 ones as like addition.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, it's a stretch, but it might be something worth looking into. So, so that's kind of what we get from the tweets there. ECKVAnet, there are literally no tweets to go along with it. It's just a fucking video drop. That one was uploaded on June 9th of 2017. Fast forward to July 14th of 2017. That's where we get ECKVA10. There's only 2 tweets here. One of them is about Hawkins getting a security system installed, and the other one is answering a question about the information form used to collect user/employee data. And it's probably the same form that Hawkins filled out for employment many, many years ago when ECKVA was actually still operating. We get so on August 13th, we do get something from Hawkins that says, looks like something left over from the site when it was properly operational. I'm reluctant to put my info into it. And I'm almost 100% positive that's the employment form that we've been talking about, and like why ECKVA is even contacting this person. Again, like if you look through some of the images that you'll see from the Twitter, as well as the YouTube comments and links from the comments, you will get a picture of an employment. Honestly, it just says request for information at the top, but it's an employment form, and it's one of the stranger ones that you'll see. It does not ask for a whole lot. Moving right along to ECKVA 11, again, that was uploaded on August 27th, 2017. There's no tweets while that was uploaded. Same for ECKVA 12, ECKVA 13. ECKVA 14, however, we do get some tweets from Hawkins. Basically, it's just a bunch of questions. There's some questions about what's going on at the house. There's some questions about the security cameras. There's some questions just about everything that's happening. It's users interacting with Hawkins about what the fuck is going on here. But other than that, for my portion of the videos, that was really all the like user creator interaction that we would have gleaned at all from here. Yeah, that's the end of my
Your stuff.
My
That's the end of
stuff.
your stuff.
That's the end of my stuff, Mike.
well,
Is
it's
steeping?
Get the tea out of your mouth and
steeping.
he be steeping.
The end of your stuff is always the beginning of my stuff. Jason, I'm gonna move my cup of tea.
Put it somewhere not so close to the roadcast.
I don't have anywhere not close to the roadcast. I'm right next to the roadcast.
Put your lid on. Shut your fucking mouth.
There, it's sealed. It can't do anything now.
I would have just screamed with happiness if it just dumped out.
I'd be upset. My tea that I haven't been able to drink yet because it's too hot. It's been hot for like an hour and a half now. So starting off with episodes 15. To be perfectly candid, this is pretty much where the Twitter stops for basically the remainder. The rest of Shawkins, the rest of
God
Hawkins's Twitter pretty much is just tweet that says ECKVA 15, ECKVA 16, ECKVA 17.
It's just a catalog of the videos coming out.
Yeah, there's nothing to go off of it. What we get,
there's a decent reason for that though.
Yes.
yeah, we go into
Yes.
something else, and I'll get to that in a moment.
Well, there's something that happens in one of your videos that is a pretty clear indicator of why they're not tweeting.
Actually, I think it was the end of when the notes stopped appearing at the end of videos.
Well, I was thinking, yeah, I think so. I think it's when you see them fucking
Beat
laid
boys.
out
Beat the-
and
As it's been dubbed by the community, the interference.
yes,
Yeah. So and you kind of get that as well. So at this point of time in the videos, you notice a couple things. You notice at this point is when Hawkins in the house has been kind of like knocked out. And they're kind of waking back up. That whole thing where, they're running through the fucking forest, they're coughing up blood. All that shit is kind of happening, around this time. This is when we, around the time we see the glitchy people as well.
Yeah, the interference.
Yeah. This is also
the glisms.
the glisms. The glisms. This is around the same time as well that you notice the ARC listener. It's getting frequent software updates.
Getting more powerful.
Yeah, there's new versions of it that keep getting updated over and over and over again. That plays a pretty big part into the stuff I'm going to go over. But outside of the Twitter realm of things, users, just like before, that were getting emails, get sent another email. This email states that ECKVA Network mourns the loss of Andrew Raymond, which if you're watching the videos, you have seen Raymond come up periodically here and there in those messenger chats. So it says, for internal use only, we are deeply saddened to share with all of our affiliates and employees the passing of Andrew Raymond yesterday. Basically saying that he was an integral part of the technology team. He worked on many of their game-changing projects. He was an outstanding team player, gifted programmer, and a problem solver who left a lasting mark on the company and every customer of ECKVA Network. They also mentioned to not talk to any non-ECKVA media affiliates as like a sign of respect for Andrew's family. That's bullshit. So people that were playing the game at this time got another email that was roughly not the same time, but it was pretty close to when they got that passing away email as well. Would you turn off the alarm?
Dude, I don't know why. I have to
Because you
fix
snoozed
that.
it. Just turn it off.
Here we go.
You
Go ahead.
boomer.
Go ahead.
So they got another email that's highlighted saying unauthorized ARC listener release notes. It's like, oh, wowie zowie, what's going on here? And you see that ARC listener 0.1.1 release notes. All future updates will be executed separately from previous versions. Previous versions will be backed up to the private database. Source tracking upgraded, still very early. Option menu for editing sources, keyboard shortcuts still work. Note, upgraded encryption for version archive in the database after the previous unauthorized access from, quote, A, unquote, should not happen again.
Shan't happen.
So you're probably wondering, who's this A figure? And why are we getting this note?
I wasn't, but
Okay.
Why are we
sounds like you're gonna go into it.
I will. So if you go onto the S Hawkins Twitter, you'll find a link in their their bio there for ECKVAnet/Laos. You click on it, you will get a web page that shows it's kind of like a progress bar, sort of, where it's like a checklist, not a progress bar, like where we are, and it's like
oh, gotcha.
yeah, and underneath it you'll see an option that says like documents, ECKVA return to home page, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you click on the documents, you'll get a span of, I want to say it's roughly about like 15 or so uploads, maybe a little more. And this is where we get a pretty good chunk of information about some of these characters and what's kind of going on in the world of ECKVA.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to go through them in order that they are on the website.
Alphabetically by height?
Yeah, and by height, age, sex, how much they've had. But I've left a few out because some weren't pertinent. Like one of them was literally just like, "Hey, did you get my last email?" That was it. So some of them don't really matter. I have the ones here that matter. So the first one you get was collected material on Arc Listener from the ECKVA network. Do not access without written consent. It says that this is not for the public release. It says that this information, it's talking about all the documents that were uploaded, were collected from ECKVA network employee Andrew Raymond's backup drive that ran automatically once per hour, discovered at his workstation during initial investigation. Relevant documents from desk scanned, sorted chronologically to the best of our abilities. The next one starts off mentioning this is the night of January 18th. It mentions how Raymond woke up with his eyes open, flat on his back, sleep paralysis, couldn't feel time passing, nothing happened for approximately 15 to 20 minutes. Head pointed at the ceiling, no eye movement possible. Ceiling appeared to be moving closer. Couldn't tell if I was floating up or the ceiling was coming down. Kind of goes on like that for a bit. So he's having sleep paralysis issues.
Okay.
The next one mentions what Doug mentioned earlier, the lawsuit between Jeremy Whalen and his previous employer, Clear Lakes Communications, has been dismissed after evidence of Whalen's poor mental state was corroborated with multiple witnesses.
But they made that. Never mind. Keep going.
Whalen had previously accused CLC of maintaining a hostile work environment while working as a network technician, which led to multiple instances of mental and physical trauma, though no specifics of the claim were ever said to be made public.
And how do we know about it?
Isn't that fucking wild?
The internet's a crazy place.
The internet is a crazy place. The next is we get basically an introduction email from a Danielle Scott to the archive team at ECKVA. Basically, it's Danielle saying, "Hey, everybody, just wanted to pretty much introduce myself. I'm going to be the manager of the archive team. Can't wait to work with you guys. Let's just wreck shop." That's pretty much what she's saying. Let's kick some ass.
Absolutely.
You also get these, like, they look like PowerPoint slides, kind of, where you get one from Danielle saying her background working with CLC and how she now works with ECKVA in the archive division. You get another one mentioning the Mezzanine Messenger. It is a digital assisted management application developed in-house. They even got an email address as well. mmteam@eckva.net. You get another one, another
Where
slide.
do I get an ECKVA.net?
I'm sure you can just get it from Google.
From Gmail?
If you just ask Google, like, "Hey, can I have this?" They'll be like, "Yeah."
Yeah, we'll write that.
We have another PowerPoint slide. This one is kind of damaged a little bit, but you see the bottom bit of it that says IT team is Chris Galloway. Now, if some of you recall, in the Laos episode, Laos is a video game that was created by Galloway Games. And now we have a Chris Galloway who works at the IT department at ECKVA. The next one is like a notepad. It's like scribbles on a
Next thing you
notepad.
know, Jason's just gonna be like,
just passes
Pass
out.
the fuck out.
It's scribbles on notepad, assuming from Andrew Raymond, because all of these are uploads from him.
"Your scribbles in the wind
Thank you.
You feel like a plastic bag in the wind.
all
Floating
the
through the
time."
breeze because nothing matters. It says on this piece of paper, it says 2 teams, docs plus AV. Head archivist me plus assistant question mark. Manager / messenger is the same thing. Mezzanine login is araymond4848 and has his password, which is !contrast #511. And he says it cannot be changed per Chris. You also get something that says logging progress tracked by MM, which is Mezzanine Messenger. And then you get this, which just says 5 times 7 equals 35. 35 times 52 equals 1,820 question mark.
That checks out.
Thank you, it does. I'm not entirely sure what this means with anything. I'm sure that this is a code that someone had to, type in for a password somewhere when this was still going on.
Or still has to.
We don't know.
We don't.
Next, we get some emails from Danielle to Andrew. Basically, it's Danielle saying Andrew's doing such a fantastic job that she wants to put him on some additional projects. She says he's been kicking ass. A few days ago, we uncovered 3 older workstations in one of the basement storage rooms. 2 had water damage, so IT's working on trying to get them working again. The other was functional. IT said it appears to be a test machine that was used when Mezzanine Manager was being developed. Since all of the people that worked on it are gone and unable to identify a lot of what's in there, the higher-ups would like all of its files archived. It's likely that this machine contains the only copy of all this information. So he's being tasked with this test machine that they found in a basement, essentially, getting all the information off of it.
We don't know what it is or what's in there, but
we want you to get it.
What that is. That's your job.
The next is it's basically a screenshot from Mezzanine Messenger from a message thread between A. Raymond and Danielle Scott. Basically, it's Raymond saying, hey, Danielle, yeah? Hey, Andrew, I found a
ASL
2
DTF
forest bear. Andrew says, I found a file on here that I can't get to work. Danielle asks, what's the file? Andrew asks, it's blot.xml. Danielle says, can you open it? Andrew says, no, I tried on the test machine and the virtual machine.
Real quick.
Both crashed.
What is a .xml?
I don't know.
It's a program.
Oh, cool.
It's a runnable program.
Cool.
Yep.
So Danielle says it might be junk, and Andrew says, I doubt it. Everything we found so far has been related to the ARC listener system in some way or another. Danielle asked him to send it to her, and he says he will. So to me, it sounds like he just found the ARC listener. He found BLOT program that
the surveillance program.
Yeah. So it sounds to me like he is kind of the catalyst of everything here.
You're a cat.
The list. The next document is from the night of March 3rd. Sleep paralysis again. A figure standing on the side of my bed looking down at me. Its head was very large. Yeah, his head was very large and made up of dozens of blocks arranged in a grid pattern.
Head was very good.
10 out of 10. The sloppiest top.
But then his head fell apart while he was doing it.
Guys, it's getting to that point of the night.
He said that they were like narrow bricks with the square side pointing out.
It was so dry.
It was so dry.
He does this cool thing with his hands.
How dry
He's
do you
just
want
like.
Anyway, I'm going to move on now.
Go for it, man.
If you know, you know.
So the next is an email from Andrew to Danielle. And he says, hi, Danielle. I want to see if there were currently any job openings for the archive team. I realize that there likely aren't any, but was wondering if you could bring it up to HR. Since I'm having to split my time between the special project and standard archiving, the overall efficiency rating has gone down as a result. Which basically, to sum it up, they were tasked with just digitizing these old files. That was the archives team's
data entry.
They're data entry. Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that's all it is. And basically, he got taken away from doing it to do the special project where he found
lucky bitch.
BLOT. And now he needs, So he says,
now he needs medical attention.
Yeah. So he says, if one more person can be added to the team, I do have a recommendation. I attached their CV below for you to take a look at. I can send it to HR too, but want to get your head around it first, if all possible. Thank you. And the attachment is for the resume of one Shelby Hawkins.
Huh.
So now we have a first name.
Shelbert. So it's okay. It's Shelbert Hawkbert. Is this the first time we see that full name?
Yes, this is
Cool.
the first time we see. It's always been S. Hawkins. Now we have a name attached to it, Shelby Hawkins.
Yeah,
So
this is
one thing too about Laos is can we like so we know that episode 18 is confirmed to be the end of season 1.
yes.
We don't get all this info from Laos and the other videos that are out right now until afterwards. So this is kind of brand new information to
Yeah.
us as the season 2 starts to kind of roll out.
So in your own brains, separate the information that comes ECKVA 18 and before, and then after that, because it's going to be two sets of very different information, two sets of very differing plot points, but elements from the first season will carry over, and questions that are left unanswered might be answered. I don't know.
Which I'll go. I'm basically, as soon as he's finished telling us about Laos, I will go over what we know and what we don't know.
Okay,
still.
cool. Perfect.
So,
Yeah.
And then yeah.
Next up, we get an email from Chris Galloway to Andrew. It says, "Hey Andrew, the bug you found in M Manager has been fixed. Go ahead and log out and back in. Refresh should be good. P.S. Looking forward to you meeting the GG people this weekend." I don't exactly know what the GD people are supposed to be, if I'm being honest.
good game.
Good game people.
The good game people.
Next, we get a message from Danielle to Andrew, basically saying she interviewed Shelby and it's looking good. They're going to hire on Shelby.
Oh, good for her.
The next
What a nice lady.
nice lady. The next couple you see is basically Andrew like tinkering around with the ARC listener program. You see that like the ARC listener face, and it's that like DOS page, and he's just kind of like tinkering around trying to get into it. He's trying to get admin access. He doesn't have it, and it's just denying everything that he's trying. And he keeps looking at that face, and he has a note here where he put time split with Shelby at 8 o'clock. 1 to 6 is a special project. Shelby in charge when I'm downstairs. Shawkins, 1928. So we know that
Hawkins.
Shelby is Shawkins, 1928.
God, that's not going to change, is it?
Nope.
It's the worst,
it also
worst
says
thing ever.
power
work for you guys.
power test machine is Mezzanine Alpha, which is ARC listener. So they're all the same thing.
Oh,
So he's found that out.
so the messenger is just like an interface for ARC listener.
It seems like it, yes.
Oh,
He also tries to figure out what ARC listener's face is. He mentions a bunch of symbols like the dashes and the exclamation point.
Yeah.
And then he actually sketches out the face, and he's like, is this a face? The inside looks like it could be like a candle or maybe like a building. It's hard to say. And it does kind of look like
It does.
a candle and or a building.
I will
the
say
most
this.
8-bit way.
I will say
Yeah.
this. In the way that it was very specifically and intentionally drawn, makes it look like a building.
Yeah.
I will say that.
The next is another note from Andrew on the night of March 26th saying, typing on keyboard without a monitor. The keys make a very loud sound. I look at my hand and all my fingertips have holes in them. Turn them over and my fingernails are missing. I start typing again. Black liquid pours out of the holes. Everything is covered in it. I type faster until it's over in my head. I am standing on a concrete block in a beige room. All of my skin is dry and shriveled.
Had that dream before.
Yeah, this guy's fucked up. Next is an email from Danielle to the archive team themselves, basically saying, actually, I'll just quote it out and tell me if this sounds fine to you. Good morning,
Nope.
everyone. Yeah, you're right. It doesn't. It's off to a horrible
bad
start.
start. Bad start.
Good morning, everyone. I will be out of the office for 2 days due to illness. Andrew will be your point of contact in my absence. Voicemail left for insights into large area height and standard. I told them to leave me alone. How did they do this to me?
That was
You
an
told me to
interesting-
listen, and I just blocked you out so hard that
I heard all the words in that last one, but I don't know what
So-
any of them put together meant.
Here's what I'm thinking is happening. Andrew sent the BLOT.xml over to Danielle. And now Danielle is coincidentally sick, and she's typing a bunch of gibberishly nonsense.
Weird.
We know that BLOT can fuck with you
Oh yeah.
and make you be weird.
Turns you into a static monster.
That too. So next is an email from Danielle to Andrew. And it says, Andrew, I'm quite frustrated with your actions while I was gone. This is after that 2 days.
Okay.
I did not give you permission to access the AL program on the test machine. Arc listener, or Al. The Al. I made it very clear in this initial meeting for this project that you were to only access programs/files that I assigned to you. Do you realize that there is a log generated automatically each time you are on that computer that shows everything that you do, which is then sent to IT and myself? I hope this is something I don't have to remind you of again. So she
Sounds
got a
like
little sassy
somebody
with
got
him.
reprimanded.
Got a little sassy with him. Andrew then goes on to email her back and be like, "You didn't tell me
straight up like,
any of that."
bitch, what?
Yeah, he's like, "You didn't say any of that. You didn't say."
As per my last email to her.
He even says, he's like, "You didn't tell me I couldn't look at the AL program. You didn't tell me to only look at shit that you assign. If you sent it to me in an email, it didn't come through. Find it and resend it to me." Yeah, he kind of sassed her back a little bit. Next, you get an email from Andrew to Shelby, basically saying, "Hey Shelby, the printer downstairs is fucked. Don't use it. The ink cartridge literally exploded. I'm having IT look at it, but I doubt they'll be able to fix it. Just giving you a heads up." Now you're probably wondering, Michael, why are you even
Why are you mentioning
talking about this?
Yeah.
It's because he stuck his dick in it.
He stuck his dick in the ink. So
That's what I did when I worked
Confirm,
at
can't
office.
Fuck a printer.
Only the ink.
so next we get a upload.
It does have a hole on it. Right at the tip where it dispenses it. You can just put the
an
tip of your
upload
finger-
of a scan of an ink stained piece of paper.
Yep,
And it's quite literally just an
a
ink
dick
stain.
blot.
It's a
It's-
cum stain. Oh no!
It do be looking
We're
kind of
writing
like
our own
a
story
yeah.
here.
It's just an ink stain, but
Fuck you, ECKVA. This is ours now.
I think Mike really wants to talk, but we're not
He
gonna
does.
let
you
that
know what? I
happen.
know what it feels like now. So
Go
it's
ahead,
okay.
go ahead. I'm so sorry.
The next upload.
Wowie zowie.
I'm just on that whole like ink cum thing.
Well, I'll get back to it.
All I can
Oh.
think of is fucking the blood cum now.
Cum blood. The bloody cum.
I can drink my tea now.
Is it hot?
You can
It's
drink
still
your
hot, but it's
tea
not
now?
that bad.
Oh,
My
tea
tea
now. Got it.
So the next
Fuck.
upload we get is from Mezzanine Messenger. Again, it's a screenshot from that between Danielle and Andrew. Basically, what this one is saying is Danielle says, "Hi, Andrew. What were you trying to print when the printer malfunctioned?" He said, "I wasn't printing anything. I CC'd you on the email I sent. Did you get it?" And Danielle says, "Yes. I wanted clarification." She said, "Do you recognize that face?" Andrew says, "Face." And Danielle says, "The paper you found on the printer tray is the face of someone you know." And Andrew said, "The one I found was covered in ink. Was there another sheet? Are you there?"
Hey,
and
Mike, what did you do today?
I looked at that ink blot and I was like, there's got to be something there.
I'm so proud of
So
you, by the way.
I-
I'm so fucking
I
proud of
tweaked
you.
the image a little bit, and if you kind of fuck with the settings, you can see a face come through.
Oh,
It kind of
there's a
just looks like a
face.
smiley face
Oh,
to me.
By the tweaking, did you just zoom in?
Yeah. No, I like up the contrast
No,
and like the
yeah.
sharpness and the noise
Brightness,
reduction.
sharpness, contrast up, and you can see the faintest outlines of a face. A very fucked up face.
Yeah, it's there.
It is there.
The next email is from Shelby to Andrew, basically saying, "Hey Andrew, I completed my batch of things to upload and scan, but Danielle hasn't assigned me to any others. What should I do in the meantime?" And Andrew's like, "Yo, I got you. I will send you some new shit." So he sends her sends Shelby some more things.
Strong.
I having a strong.
Call a bondulance.
Yeah. Sends Shelby a whole new batch of things to upload. And now we get another upload from Mezzanine Messenger between Andrew and Shelby. And this is the one that we've seen before, I'm pretty sure, where it's Shelby asking, "Hey, I have a quick question. Was there anything else besides the footage stored in the archives?" And Andrew says, "I don't think so. Why?" And that's when Shelby says, "I found an old computer program stored in it while I was going through it. Does ARC listener sound familiar?" Andrew says, "Nope. Tell Danielle about it." So now Shelby has access to ARC listener along with Andrew and Danielle. The next is an email from Danielle to Andrew says, Andrew, can you explain to me why you assigned Shelby a new batch instead of referring it to me? I just received message from them about the AL programs too. So she now knows that Shelby is accessing
Al.
The next is a mezzanine messenger screenshot cap between Danielle and Andrew. It reads, Danielle, I just sent you an email. Andrew, I know, I just received it. Danielle, can you tell me why you gave Shelby access to the Al program? I'm just going to call it Al now.
Fuck it.
Andrew, I assigned a batch. Danielle, why did you include Al in the batch? Andrew, those are automatically generated by the archive system. I don't make them myself. Andrew, he also says, I didn't say anything to Shelby about Al. In fact, I said I have never heard of it. Danielle, you need to come upstairs. Andrew, 10 minutes. Danielle, I'm not asking, I'm telling.
Someone's in trouble.
Next is, and I'm almost done. I have one more after this one. Next is the...
Doug's sitting there like, can you fucking stop talking?
Next is an email, the final email between Danielle and Shelby. It says, hi, Shelby. Completely differently tone. It says, whenever you get the chance, can you come to my office, please? You're not in trouble. There's a project that Andrew has been working on that I think you will be able to help with. Note 111, 3 spheres and stairs. You for looking for inconsistency varying throughout new growth seasons. Weird, right?
Very fucking strange.
Whoa! The next and final little bit of my information is an email from Robert Toll to everybody. The subject, a note from Mr. Toll. It says, good morning. As some of you have already heard, there have been some complaints from many of our subscribers about some upsetting content that is appearing on their televisions. Goes without saying, but this programming is not being broadcast purposely by ECKVA Network. After extensive investigations by our technicians and law enforcement, it was determined that this content is being created and broadcast from within our offices. It is not due to an external party gaining unauthorized access to our systems as we originally thought.
Dude, if you're mad that your company is producing and sending out Girls Gone Wild, like you don't have to be embarrassed by that.
He is a little bit.
Just accept the fact that your employees are watching.
He's a little upset by it, though.
Oh.
It goes on to say, let me be perfectly clear to whoever is doing this.
Oh, okay.
I have zero tolerance for this abhorrent behavior, and I will find out who you are.
I have a certain set of skills, and I will find you.
I will find you. Not only will your employment with ECKVA be immediately terminated, you will also be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. This is not a harmless prank. The content being broadcast to our subscribers is disturbing and grotesque.
Now,
additionally,
go ahead.
Almost done. Additionally, there are multiple instances of Alice pastry in these broadcasts, which I can only assume is a bastardization of our children's program, Alice's Bakery, that is in development. This also opens the door for copyright infringement lawsuits for whoever the perpetrator is. Until further notice, security personnel will be stationed at the broadcast room. We will have also installed monitoring software on all company-owned computers. Those of you with nothing to hide have nothing to fear.
Oh, you think you're Ed Sheeran or some shit? You just need to monitor everything that comes out of this room?
Does Ed Sheeran monitor things that come out of the room?
I don't know, but he's popular and needs to watch out for copyright infringement.
It's true. It's very true. But that is kind of this chunk of like background we get.
Dialogue.
Yeah.
Discourse.
I'm waiting.
Wowie zowie.
Thank you.
God.
All right. So we just went over a fuck ton of information. Absolutely just mind-numbing amount of information.
And we're going to keep going.
Except I'm gonna what do we know? What do we don't know? What know, what don't know? Here we go. So we know that either CLC or
Nintendo's
ECKVA
coming for us.
created a operating system called the ARC Listener, and this allows the ARC Listener program is allowing for the control of these certain sources. Now, these sources are people who've been infected by BLOT and are controlled by ARC Listener, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is BLOT exactly? We know that we have a file for it now. We know that we've heard the phrase, but it basically is a brain implant that allows the ARC Listener program to use an individual as if it were its own camera, basically. This also gives them full control over the person that has the BLOT implanted in their head. Now, what are these broadcasts even for? That we don't know for sure, but we do know that they seem to be targeting Hawkins directly. We know what Alice Pastry is. It's a cartoon that was developed, but what we just found out is that it was actually called Alice Bakery, and we have a bootleg horror version that is basically being a part of these broadcasts. Who is even Alice, you might ask? Well, all they are a representation of a BLOT victim. And then we have the Quiet Bug, who we assume is a representation of Hawken.
Yep.
Now, we kind of went over all the people, so I'm not going to touch on them a whole lot, but there is one person that I don't think we really brought up a whole lot, and that's Liz.
Yeah, not even remotely close to a lot.
Yeah, I think it was mentioned one time. But Elizabeth Steiner was one of the animators at ECKVA, and she apparently went missing in a home in Georgia, which we can only assume is the house that Hawkins inherited. That could be very pertinent moving forward.
Yeah.
We don't really know yet. And yeah, all of this, and we know all of this is taking place in fucking Georgia, so that kind of, ties in together. But we have a lot more unknowns than we do knowns.
Yeah.
Who's broadcasting? No fucking idea.
Nope,
we have no idea
that's
what
exactly
their intentions
why
are.
season 1 ends the way it does.
Yep.
I will say that something we have not mentioned yet is the community around this ARG/analog horror has kind of dubbed the person in charge of these broadcasts as very aptly named as the broadcaster. It's very easy to remember. It's very concise. Like, it just tells you who it is. But yeah, that's the broadcaster.
Yeah, and we don't know who it is. We don't know what their goal is. We don't even really know what Clear Lake's goal was when that was a thing. We don't even know what happened to ECKVA and why it closed down yet. Zero idea. We also haven't heard anything about the Brightest Light. We still don't know what that program does or what it is. You know what I'm saying? So we also get a reference to an ARC, and this is actually referenced in Marble Hornets and ECKVA, and we kind of, I don't know, there's some theories. I'm not actually going to go into them, but that could be something that comes up later on in the series as well. Might tie this into Marble Hornets a lot more. We don't know. Yeah, pretty much. There's a lot of scenes. So there was these things in Clear Lakes, these third-person cameras that they used.
Yeah.
We don't know what's up with that, and we haven't seen it in ECKVA yet. And I kind of hope we do, because that could be really interesting.
Especially if this is like a full-on like reboot of Clear Lakes. Like, if this is like the thing that's replacing it, I fucking hope to God we see more of that.
Yeah, and one of the other things that's going on is we have a lot of radio silence from Hawkins themselves. So, like, where are they going at this point? Why were they coughing up blood?
Yeah, that's a big, like, what I understand that, like, so I understand that BLOT like changes you and makes you feel bad. I don't remember seeing anything about coughing up blood. Like, why are your organs failing?
I don't really know.
I think it's just a cinematic.
But it could also bring in the whole thing of Preaxin. Like, what we know that it's a sleep medication.
What's in it?
But we don't know. Is it to keep BLOT victims like
subdued or something?
Yeah,
like
sedated.
And maybe.
And that's kind of where we're at. We have a lot more unknowns than knowns. Realistically, the unknowns could keep going. You could keep asking, hey, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is that? But that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
As far
Unfortunately,
as that
there's
goes.
no answers yet.
Yeah, we're left wondering quite a bit. A lot of pondering to do on this.
Oh, yeah.
I think the database that Mike was just reading out
It helps
not too long ago.
It helps with some things, but
Definitely starts to kind of connect some things, but it definitely didn't answer any of the questions that we had on.
no, it just added more lore.
It added more what to it
Yeah.
than anything. So,
The only thing it did, in my opinion, was give us theories on who these glitchy people could have been.
That, and I think it also made more clear connections between like this as being, could be a standalone thing versus something connected to 1 to 2 larger universes, being the Slenderverse, as well as whatever was happening in Clear Lakes 44.
yeah.
Yeah, for all we know, this could be kind of like an anthology sort of thing. They may not even be connected, but they're just using similar things, just like what's their names? The guys that made Shaun of the Dead.
Nick Frost and Simon Pegg.
Yeah,
I
how
forget their-
none of them
the
are
name, but yeah.
similar, but they all, they all eat the ice cream, or like all J.J.
Yeah.
Abrams things that Slusho in it. They might not even be connected. They just might be having Easter eggs. And
Yeah,
everything.
could be just Easter eggs. I mean, that's like from like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. There's Easter eggs between both of those movies.
Yeah.
Like same shit here.
Or like, unedited footage of a bear, and this house has people in it.
Do you want me to try doing my best 30-second TLDR?
Go for
yeah,
it.
honestly, this could fucking use
All
it.
right, ready? 30-second TLDR.
Do you want
Company named ECKVA. Yeah, people that are working at it. Mainly Danielle, Andrew, and Shelby, the ones that you need to focus on. They're working together. They find a machine that has a program on it. It's called, basically just called BLOT, or it's the ARC listener. They start looking into it. They starting to talk weird. Next, we get the YouTube videos where it shows this Shelby person basically what's the word I'm looking for? Contradicting themselves on what we know from the past prologues, saying how I never worked for them when we have documents that show that they did. Saying
we
how
have
they're
documents
on,
that show they applied.
well, my documents show that they actually physically worked for them.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah,
Oh.
Shelby Hawkins works for them. It says that they hired him on.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
And
so-
they're working together.
Yeah, and they're working
yep,
together.
yep.
So the Shelby person,
going.
according to these YouTube videos, doesn't remember anything other than applying for them. They were taking this Preaxin medication. Apparently, they're not on it anymore, and that could have something to do with what's going on. They're finding these old broadcasts from this old station called ECKVA. This station is uploading weird things, but it's pretty much being uploaded just to Shelby. So Shelby's getting these weird broadcasts that are pretty specific to their life. It's seeming like it's having to do with their past, seeming to have to do with traumas of theirs. And they don't know who's uploading it. Find out someone was in the house that Shelby had this hookup with that was downloading all the broadcasts. They're leaving them clues as to what's going on. Shelby then gets pretty much knocked out by these weird glitchy monster people. Wakes up not feeling the best.
That's okay. Point of order there. I don't think that Shelby was knocked out by the glitchy people.
It's by the broadcaster.
It's by the broadcaster himself.
That's when they implanted the blot.
That's where they basically forced Shelby to start retaking the Preaxin that she was on beforehand, and now that's why she's infected with BLOT.
So here we go. So now we're at her being, knocked out by broadcaster, taking the Preaxin. The blot's back. The blot's doing its thing to Shelby. It's fucking with them, making them all sick, making them all fucked up.
Staticky.
All staticky. And then Shelby's like, I got to find out who's uploading all this shit. Shelby says that they've nowhere to go. They're the last one, pretty much the last survivor of BLOT. That's what I understood from that.
You are the last one. Yeah.
They're the last surviving member of a person that has BLOT. They're like, oh, I know where this broadcast is coming from. I'm gonna go out and find it.
Yeah, that's about where we are. Obviously, there's some other.
That 30-second turned into about 2 minutes, but yeah.
No, that's fine. Either way, that was shorter than the thing that I had prepared. So, yeah, no, that's a very good TLDR. It goes over the main points. But yeah, as of right now, again, we just finished with season 1 of ECKVAnet.
Look up more of.
We gave you a little sneak peek into season 2.
Honestly, we gave you guys every tool that you need
Season 2
to participate in season 2.
Season 2 is pretty much, if you go on the Twitter, S. Hawkins Twitter, it's called Louse now.
Yeah.
Season 2, like the main thing of Louse is done on that Twitter. It's finished.
Yeah.
They just haven't uploaded anything to YouTube about it, but it's all there. The whole gameplay is
they're
there.
waiting for the players to catch up.
They already have. I think they're just waiting to put it into like a video format.
Oh, really?
To
They've
put it on
solved
YouTube.
all the
It's done.
shit, okay,
yeah, the game
cool.
is done. The game finished
For season 2.
for Laos. Season
For
2. I don't know if
Laos, okay.
Laos is all of season 2 or just a portion.
I think that's
but
the
so far Laos is done.
Gotcha. Yeah. Laos. No. Laos is done. Laos is the interim between season 1 and season 2.
Yeah. You know what else is an interim is deludipod.com. You can go there, find our links to all our cool stuff like patreon.com/deludipod where you can give us some money
Or not.
or you don't do that. You can find us at youtube.com/@deludipod. We do got a handle. Go subscribe. Leave us a rating. On Spotify, leave us a rating too. We just hit over 400, so I'm gonna dress these clowns up in Victorian era garb, and we're gonna take some pictures.
When is that happening?
Whenever we can get a chance to go to a Goodwill and find Victorian era garb.
I'm gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I go to Goodwill a decent amount. Good luck.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can do.
This is
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all socials. We're either Deludipod or Don't Look Under the Internet. If you just go to our website, deludipod.com or deludi.com.
Deludi on Google.
Yeah, we'll be
the
right
first
there.
2 pages are full of our shit.
Yeah, all of our links are on our website and linktree.com/deludipod. That shows literally everything.
We have a listener survey.
We have a listener
use
survey.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take that, guys. See what you like about us. And
The
then,
answers have been incredibly helpful, if I'm being 100% honest.
but leave us a rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. We'd appreciate that greatly. Buymeacoffee.com/deludipod was gonna
Let's
for
be
booze.
honest.
And then the last thing I got is our Google phone number. You can text us. We text back. You can leave us a voicemail, and we will actually put it on the show. That phone number is 630-909-9366. One more time, that is 630-909-9366. I'm going to go ahead and tell you to love your dad.
Redacted.
By fucking him. And giving him a nice kiss on the lips. Go find your dad and be like, mwah.
Guys, again, as always, every week I tell you, stay fucking paranoid.
There's only one way to say 630-909-9366.
No, fucking
I
redacted.
almost got you with the All-American Rejects. I think that's who that was. Or
like, where
was
is
it
this
Plain
going?
White Tees? It's Plain White Tees.
I think it's plain white teas. No, guys, stay fucking paranoid. Don't take any pills with some white powder in them if you don't know what they are. If you do, I mean, even then question it. But if you see something named Arc Listener activate on your computer, just run in one direction for at least 20 and a half hours. And that's how you beat it. This is inside information. You don't know this.
I got nothing.
No words.
Just slap your peen against a bean, and then if for whatever reason,
just slap your penis.
just slap it. Once you've done that, the bean and the peen slapping, if you notice some like glitchy schmutz down there, go to the doctor for sure.
Or beat off vigorously, see if it goes away.
Or wipe it on your TV,
Yeah.
because that's where static goes.
Those
That's
three,
where static lives.
Those are the 3 options. Go to the doctor, beat off, or wipe your dick on the TV.
And
Heard it here.
fuck Corbin, Kentucky.
Fuck Corbin, Kentucky. We love all of you. At this point, I got nothing else to say.
But there's one person we hate. Everyone figure it out.
Don't look under the internet.